Nakatanggap si Serena Villamor Cruz ng mga lihim na ulat tungkol sa maling paggamit ng pinakamahalagang resort ng kanyang pamilya. Sa halip na magpadala lamang ng auditor, nagkunwari siyang bagong spa attendant upang makita mismo kung paano pinamamahalaan ng kanyang asawang si CEO Marco Cruz ang Aurora Cove. Doon niya natuklasang dinala ni Marco ang kanyang kabit at Strategic Communications Director na si Leah Navarro sa owner's villa, habang inaakalang isa lamang siyang tahimik na empleyada. Malayang pinag-usapan ng dalawa ang planong gamitin ang resort sa isang malaking investment deal. Alisin ang pangalan ni Serena sa mga dokumento at gawing opisyal ang kanilang relasyon pagkatapos ng closing. Hindi nagpakilala si Serena. Pinili niyang maghintay hanggang sa pagpupulong ng mga investor kinabukasan kung saan malalaman nilang ang babaeng naghatid ng kanilang mga tuwalya ang may kapangyarihang bawiin ang buong resort. Bandang 4:00 ng hapon nang dumating si Serena Villamor Cruz sa service dock ng Aurora Cove Resort sa hilagang bahagi ng Palawan. Hindi siya dumaan sa private marina o sa glass lobby na ginagamit ng mga VIP guest. Bumaba siya mula sa maliit na staff van kasama ang 6 na bagong seasonal employee. Suot ang gepalezages pa uniforme, puting rubber shoes at simpleng name tag na may nakasulat na Rina. Nakatago sa mababang bun ang mahaba niyang buhok. At tinatakpan ng light medical mask ang malaking bahagi ng mukha niya. Sa loob ng 3 araw, pinag-aralan niya ang work schedule, treatment codes, at spa procedures upang walang makapansin na hindi siya ordinaryong attendant. Sa service corridor, naghihintay si Mateo de la Rosa, ang general manager na 20 taon nang naglilingkod sa resort. Nang makalampas ang ibang empleyado, yumuko ito at bumulong. "Ma'am Serena, nasa owner's villa na po sila. Do not call me ma'am." Sagot niya. "Not until tomorrow. Mr. Cruz personally ordered the villa prepared. That villa is not part of his executive privileges." I reminded his office. "Miss Navarro said the CEO does not need permission in a property operated by his own company." Mula sa staff wing, makikita ang malawak na turquoise bay, white sand beach at mga villa na nakatago sa pagitan ng limestone cliffs at tropical gardens. Itinatag ng kanyang ina na si Doña Aurora Villamor ang resort 30 taon na ang nakalipas. Noong iilan pa lamang ang bungalow at maliit na healing spa sa gilid ng dagat. Bawat lumang narrow tree ay pinrotektahan sa original master plan. Ang stone pathway patungo sa spa ay idinisenyo mismo ng kanyang ina upang hindi putulin ang natural slope ng lupa. Ngunit sa mga travel magazine, halos palaging si Marco ang lumalabas bilang visionary behind Aurora Cove. Hindi niya iyon itinama. Noong una, ipinagmamalaki niyang nagawang palaguin ng asawa ang lugar. Kalaunan, napansin niyang bihira nang banggitin ni Marco na trust ng pamilya Villamor ang nagmamay-ari ng lupa, villas at brand, sa mga investor presentation. Tinatawag na nito ang resort na flagship asset of Cruz Leisure Holdings. Ang katahimikan ni Serena ang naging puwang kung saan unti-unting binuo ni Marco ang kwento na siya ang tunay na may-ari. Dinala siya ni Mateo sa maliit na management office sa likod ng spa. Ipinakita nito ang mga report na dahilan ng lihim niyang pagdating. May higit sa 3 milyong pisong undocumented expenses sa loob lamang ng 6 na buwan private yacht fuel, imported wine, spa closures, luxury floral arrangements at executive client entertainment na walang pangalan ng client. Lahat ay naka-charge sa operational marketing account. Most of the expenses coincide with Mr. Cruz's visits, sabi ni Mateo. Usually with Miss Navarro. May log din ng owner's villa na dapat gamitin lamang ng trust beneficiary at mga bisitang direktang pinahintulutan niya. 11 beses iyong ginamit ni Marco at Leah sa loob ng 5 buwan. "Why did no one tell me earlier?" tanong ni Serena. I sent reports through the corporate office. Sagot ni Mateo. The regional controller said all executive use concerns had been cleared by the CEO. He cannot clear his own conflict. That is why I contacted Attorney Selena directly. Sa ilalim ng folder ay may kopya ng agenda para sa investor strategy meeting kinabukasan. Nakalagay doon Aurora Cove Asset Integration and Expansion Financing. They are presenting the resort as collateral support, sabi ni Mateo. Without trust approval. Eksaktong 5:00. Dumating ang private seaplane ni na Marco at Leah. Nakatayo si Serena sa spa reception habang pinapanood silang bumaba sa pier. Suot ni Marco ang cream linen shirt, dark sunglasses, at expensive resort loafers. Si Leah ay nakasuot ng coral silk dress. Malaking straw hat at hawak ang braso niya na parang matagal ng legal na bahagi ng buhay nito. 2 bell staff ang nagdala ng 8 maleta. Kasama ang garment bags para sa investor meeting. Welcome back, Mr. Cruz. Bati ni Mateo sa lobby. The owner's villa is ready. As requested. Good. Sagot ni Marco. Make sure no regular guests use the eastern spa wing tonight. The eastern wing is reserved under trust policy. I know the policy. I am overriding it. Only the owner can override that restriction. Tumingin si Leah kay Mateo at ngumiti ng malamig. Your owner appointed Cruise Holdings to operate this resort? That makes the CEO's instructions sufficient. Hindi nakipagtalo si Mateo. Of course. Ma'am, we will document the instruction. Nang dumaan sila sa spa reception, sandaling tumingin si Marco kay Serena. Tumigil ang puso niya. Ngunit hindi nagbago ang kanyang tindig. New staff, tanong nito. Seasonal spa attendant. Sagot ni Mateo. Rina, greet our executive guests. Yumuko siya. Good afternoon. Sish. Good afternoon. Ma'am? Hindi nakilala ni Marco ang boses dahil sadyang mahina at formal ang pagsasalita niya. Si Leah naman ay mabilis siyang sinuri mula ulo hanggang paa. She looks too nervous for VIP service. Sabi nito, make sure she does not speak unless spoken to. Yes? Ma'am? Sagot ni Serena. Ipinatong ni Leah ang kamay sa dibdib ni Marco. Book as the couple's recovery ritual before dinner. Private suite? Couple's treatment, tanong ni Mateo. Kunwari sinusuri ang tablet. Is that a problem, sabi ni Marco? No. Sish. We will prepare the room. Sa likod ng mask. Mahigpit na kinagat ni Serena ang loob ng pisngi upang hindi lumabas ang anumang damdamin. Ang private spa suite ay itinayo ng ina niya para sa honeymoon guests at dignitaries. May 2 massage bed, sunken mineral bath at sliding glass wall na tanaw ang dagat. 6:30 nang pumasok sina Marco at Leah. Kapwa naka-silk robes na may embroidered Aurora Cove emblem. Si Serena ang nagdala ng essential oils, herbal tea at heated towels. Put the jasmine oil near me. Utos ni Leah. Marco likes that scent. Alam ni Serena na dati niyang ginagamit ang jasmine oil sa bahay tuwing anniversary nila. Umupo si Marco sa lounge chair habang sinasagot ang mga email sa tablet. Did you finalize the investor deck? Tanong niya kay Leah. Yes. Aurora Cove is listed as the flagship collateral asset. Do not use the word collateral during the presentation. Call it strategic asset support. Same effect. Better language. Inilapag ni Serena ang tea sa mesa at dahan-dahang lumayo. Ngunit sinabihan siya ni Leah na manatili upang mag-refill ng hot towels. Any issue with the trust, tanong ni Marco. The CFO says the operating agreement gives you enough authority to sign an initial asset support letter. Sagot ni Leah. Serena can approve the formal pledge later. She will ask questions if she sees the full document, Then do not show her the full document. Tumawa ng mahina si Marco. You make everything sound easy. Because your wife makes it easy. She has spent years acting as though business bores her. Hawak ni Serena ang maliit na bowl ng warm water. Bahagya lamang nanginginig ang ibabaw nito. She is not stupid. Sabi ni Marco. I did not say she was stupid. I said she is passive. She avoids meetings, avoids present signs, whatever your lawyer summarize. She trusts me. Exactly. Inabot ni Leah ang tasa ng tea at ibinalik kay Serena nang hindi man lamang tumingin. More honey? Habang inaayos ni Serena ang inumin, inilabas ni Marco ang isang navy folder mula sa leather bag. Nakita niya ang title sa cover, Aurora Cove Integration Consent. Sa loob ay may colored tabs para sa land use confirmation, trademark, licensing at marina revenue assignment. May isang signature page na may pangalan niya, Serena Aurora Villamor Cruz. Trust beneficiary. Hindi dapat nasa spa suite ang ganoong dokumento. Tomorrow, I will tell the investors the trust approval is administrative. Sabi ni Marco. Once they issue the term sheet, Serena will not want to embarrass the company by refusing. And if she does, tanong ni Leah. We frame it as emotional instability caused by our marital separation. You are finally ready to announce it. After the financing is secure? You promised me after this trip. I promised we would stop hiding. Then stop bringing her name into every asset conversation. Tumayo si Leah at lumapit sa glass wall. Tanaw ang golden sunset sa ibabaw ng bay. This place should be ours. Sabi niya. Not hers. Not some dead woman's trust. Not a quiet wife who never comes here. Sumunod si Marco at inilagay ang mga kamay sa kanyang baywang. Once the integration is complete, Cruz Holdings controls operations, brand revenue and expansion. Ownership becomes a technical detail. And Serena, she keeps the beneficiary income and lives comfortably. She does not need governance authority. You know, she could terminate the management contract if she discovered the expense reports. Mateo will not go against me. Sa kabilang bahagi ng suite, tahimik na pinunasan ni Serena ang silver tray. Hindi nakita ni Marco ang maikling tingin niya kay Mateo sa reflection ng glass door. Mali ang lahat ng ipinapalagay nito tungkol sa general manager, sa trust at higit sa lahat, sa kanya. Pagkatapos ng treatment, humingi si Leah ng champagne sa mineral bath kahit labag iyon sa spa safety policy. Nang ipaalala ni Serena ang rule, tiningnan siya nito nang may inis. Do you know who he is? Tanong nito habang itinuturo si Marco. Yes. Ma'am? He is the CEO of the operating company. Sandaling tumigil si Marco. Operating company ulit niya. That is the wording used in staff orientation. Sir, do not repeat legal language you do not understand. Yumuko si Serena. I apologize. Tumawa si Leah. See? Even the employees know how to behave better than your wife. Serena would argue over every word. Not anymore. Sabi ni Marco. She barely asks where I go. Because she knows she cannot keep you. Pinahid ni Leah ang bula sa braso nito. By next month, even this resort will be under our control. After tomorrow, sagot niya. The investor commitment changes everything. Nagpatuloy silang magsalita na para bang walang ibang tao sa silid. Pinag-usapan nila ang press campaign na magpapakita kay Leah bilang mukha ng new generation of luxury. Magkakaroon siya ng photoshoot sa owner's villa, interviews sa private marina, at feature tungkol sa woman transforming cruise leisure. Si Serena naman ay ilalaraw reclusive spouse na matagal nang walang involvement sa negosyo. Remove the why from the asset narrative. Sabi ni Leah. Investors need a clean leadership story. The legal team may object. The CFO has already prepared language saying the trust beneficiary delegates all commercial communication to management. Does Serena need to sign that? Eventually? But once the deal is announced, refusing makes her look destructive. Muling binuksan ni Marco ang folder. Mula sa kinaroroonan niya, nakita ni Serena ang blankong trust approval page. Wala pa itong pirma, ngunit may yellow note sa gilid. Obtain after investor commitment. Paglabas ni na Marco at Leah patungo sa owner's villa, hindi agad gumalaw si Serena. Nanatili siyang nakatayo sa private spa suite. Hawak pa rin ang tray ng basang tuwalya. Ang dagat sa labas ay naging madilim na asul. Sa silid ay naiwan ang amoy ng jasmine, champagne at pabango ni Leah. Ma'am, mahinang tawag ni Mateo mula sa pinto. Inalis ni Serena ang mask. Hindi siya umiiyak. Ang mukha niya ay tahimik ngunit ibang-iba na sa babaeng dumating ng hapon na umaasang baka simpleng affair lamang ang problema. They are using the resort in the financing presentation, sabi niya. And they prepared a consent page under my name. Then the operating agreement's conflict clause applies? Not yet. We need proof of the board presentation and the CFO's involvement. Attorney Selena arrived through the north dock. She is waiting in the old owner's office. Isinuot muli ni Serena ang mask. Tell her I will come after dinner service. Bago makaalis, bumalik si Leah dahil naiwan nito ang telepono. Hindi nito nakita si Mateo, na agad na pumasok sa utility room. Natagpuan niya si Serena sa tabi ng treatment bed. You? Sabi nito. Bring fresh towels to the villa at 9. And do not mention anything you heard here. Tumingin si Serena sa kanya sa likod ng mask. What did I hear? Ma'am, ngumiti si Leah. Good answer. Kinuha nito ang telepono at lumapit sa pinto. Ngunit bago lumabas ay huminto. Tomorrow. Important people will be here. Stay in the staff area. The resort is about to have new owners. New owners, mahinang tanong ni Serena. People who understand what to do with a property like this. Pagkatapos ay umalis ito. Tiyak na naiwan niya sa lugar ang isang empleyadang takot mawalan ng trabaho. 9:00. Dinala ni Serena ang mga tuwalya sa owner's villa. Bukas ang terrace doors at tumutugtog ang mahinang jazz. Nasa infinity pool sina Marco at Leah. Magkalapit habang may nakalatag na investment documents sa outdoor table. Bago siya umalis, narinig niyang sinabi ni Marco, once the investors sign tomorrow, Serena will have no practical choice. Sumagot si Leah habang tumatawa. Your wife won't matter after the closing? Even this resort will answer to us. Inilapag ni Serena ang mga tuwalya at yumuko. Anything else? Sir, tanong niya. Hindi man lamang siya nilingon ni Marco. Nothing. You can go. Tahimik siyang lumakad pababa sa stone path patungo sa lumang owner's office. Sa bawat hakbang, nakikita niya ang mga bagay na iniwan ng inaang lantern sa puno. Ang hand-carved railings at ang maliit na chapel sa gilid ng hardin. Hindi lamang kasal ang pinagtaksilan ni Marco. Ginamit nito ang tiwala niya upang tratuhing sariling collateral ang tahanang itinayo ng kanyang ina. Sa loob ng owner's office, naghihintay si Attorney Selena Fortes. Nakabukas sa mesa ang Aurora Coastal Trust Deed at ang 10-year management agreement ng Cruise Holdings. Katabi niya si Mateo at isang sealed audit folder. Tinanggal ni Serena ang name tag na Rina, ngunit hindi pa niya hinubad ang spa uniform. Tell me everything required to suspend their authority before tomorrow's meeting. Sabi niya. Binuksan ni Selena ang kontrata sa clause tungkol sa unauthorized asset use, material conflict at reputational harm. If the evidence confirms what Mateo reported and what you heard tonight, you can issue an immediate protective suspension. But it must be announced formally before they represent the resort to investors. Tumingin si Serena sa conference agenda na nakalagay sa ibabaw ng mesa. Nasa unang item ang presentation ni Marco Aurora Cove, the crown jewel of Cruise Leisure Holdings. Dahan-dahan niyang isinara ang folder. Then let him present it. Sabi niya, "Tomorrow morning, I will tell everyone whose crown jewel it really is." Tahimik ang lumang owner's office nang buksan ni Attorney Selena Fortes ang Aurora Coastal Trust Deed sa pahinang may pulang tab. Sa labas ng bintana, tanaw ang madilim na dagat at ang mga ilaw ng private marina. Sa loob, nakatayo pa rin si Serena sa Palisade Spa uniform. Hawak ang name tag na Rina na ilang oras niyang ginamit upang makalapit sa sariling asawa nang hindi nakikilala. The trust owns the land, the resort structures, the spa, the marina, the owner's villa, and the Aurora Cove brand. Sabi ni Selena, Cruise Leisure Holdings only operates under a 10-year management agreement. They can market rooms, manage staff, and negotiate ordinary vendor contracts. They cannot mortgage, pledge, transfer, or represent trust assets as collateral without written beneficiary approval. And the document? Marco prepared tanong ni Serena. If he presents it as already authorized, that is a material misrepresentation. If he signs in your place or claims implied consent, that becomes a more serious breach. Itinuro ng abogado ang Section 23 Unauthorized Asset Use. Undisclosed executive conflict and conduct, causing material reputational harm. Sa ilalim ng clause, maaaring maglabas ang beneficiary ng immediate protective suspension habang nagsasagawa ng full investigation. Inilapag ni Mateo ang audit folder sa mesa. Bawat pahina ay may expense code. Date, approving executive at supporting document. Sa 11 pagbisita ni na Marco at Leah, ipinasa bilang client entertainment ang private dinners, couples treatments, yacht fuel at floral arrangements sa owner's villa. May isang bill para sa custom jewelry na inilagay sa international media relations. May isa pang payment para sa photographer na kumuha ng private romantic photographs sa resort. Ngunit nakalista bilang tourism brand development. Who approved this? Tanong ni Serena. Regional Finance approved them after receiving confirmation from corporate CFO Dante Roses. Sagot ni Mateo. The local controller questioned several charges. 2 weeks later, she was transferred to a smaller property in Bohol. Did she keep copies? Yes. She sent them through a secure channel after learning you were coming. Binuksan ni Selena ang electronic approvals. Nandoon ang initials ni Dante at ang note CEO hospitality privileges do not escalate to trust. Hindi lamang pala alam ng CFO ang paggamit ni na Marco at Leah sa resort. Aktibo nitong pinigilan ng impormasyon na makarating kay Serena. Sumunod nilang sinuri ang investor presentation na isi-share kinabukasan. Sa cover ay nakasulat, Aurora Cove, the crown jewel of Cruise Leisure Holdings. Sa slide tungkol sa asset base, ipinakita ang buong resort value bilang bahagi ng consolidated holdings ng kumpanya. Walang footnote na nagsasabing hiwalay ang ownership ng trust. Sa financing diagram, ang resort revenue, marina income at future villa development rights ay ginagamit upang suportahan ang credit package para sa bagong luxury expansion. They are not technically mortgaging the land yet, sabi ni Selena. But they are representing the asset as available to support investor risk. Once the term sheet is signed, they will use the investor commitment to pressure you into formal approval? Exactly what Marco said. Sagot ni Serena. Once announced, refusing would make me look destructive. Sa final slide ay may blankong statement mula sa Aurora Coastal Trust. The beneficiary has reviewed and supports the integration. Wala ang kanyang pirma. Ini 70. Ngunit sa speaker notes ay nakasulat CEO to confirm verbal family alignment pending formal documentation. Can he legally claim verbal family alignment? Tanong ni Mateo. Not for a trust approval. Sagot ni Selena. And not when the beneficiary has never seen the terms. Kinuha ni Serena ang printout. They are counting on the investors believing the approval is a formality. Because Mr. Cruz has spent years allowing people to assume the resort belongs to his company. Sabi ni Mateo. Hindi iyon akusasyon laban kay Serena. Ngunit naramdaman niya ang bigat ng katotohanan. Siya rin ang nagbigay daan sa kuwentong iyon. Sa bawat interview na hindi niya itinama. Sa bawat press event na hinayaan niyang si Marco ang tawaging may-ari. Mas lumalim ang maling paniniwala nitong ang pamamahala ay kapareho ng pag-aari. I thought staying invisible would protect the marriage. Sabi niya. Instead, it protected his entitlement. You can correct the record tomorrow. Sabi ni Selena. But we must do it as an owner protecting assets. Not as a wife confronting an affair. Bandang 11:30. Pumasok sa secure video call ang dating local controller na si Maribel Santos mula Bohol. Kinumpirma niyang personal siyang inutusan ni Dante Roses na alisin ang executive villa charges sa monthly exception report. He said Mr. Cruz had permanent owner-level privileges. Sabi niya, I told him the operating contract did not say that. After that, I was transferred. Ipinakita niya ang email chain kung saan nagtanong siya tungkol sa trust approval para sa expansion financing. Sumagot si Dante, do not involve the beneficiary until investor appetite is confirmed. Leah will manage the narrative. Sa kasunod na message, sinabi ni Leah, Serena must remain outside the asset story until after commitment. If needed, position her as emotionally resistant to modernization. Napapikit si Serena. Hindi lamang nila planong wag siyang ipaalam sa deal. Naghanda na rin sila ng paraan upang sirain ang kanyang kredibilidad kapag tumanggi siya. Preserve every original file. Sabi ni Selena. Do not forward through corporate email. We will collect the data through the trust forensic team. May isa pang attachment ang email chain draft press strategy tungkol sa personal na buhay ni Marco at Serena. Nakalista ang posibleng headline CEO leads new resort era amid private marital transition at reclusive beneficiary steps away from commercial role. Sa internal talking points. Ilalarawan si Serena bilang emotionally overwhelmed by legacy issues at not actively involved in modern hospitality operations. Samantala, si Leah ang ipapakilala bilang strategic architect ng expansion. They prepared my disappearance before they even asked for my signature. Sabi ni Serena, hindi na siya galit sa paraan ng isang asawang gustong manugod sa villa. Ang nararamdaman niya ay mas malamig parang isang shareholder na nakakita ng planong gamitin ang personal na kahinaan bilang corporate tool. The affair is painful. Sabi niya, but this is organized. They are turning the marriage into a communication strategy. Then tomorrow, we separate the two. Sabi ni Selena, we present the ownership, the contract violations, and the misrepresentations. The marriage can be addressed elsewhere. Bago maghating gabi, inutusan ni Serena si Mateo na ipatupad ang limitadong protective controls. Hindi niya ipinasara ang resort at hindi niya pinauwi ang mga guest. Ang reservation system, payroll, kitchens, housekeeping at guest transport ay magpapatuloy ng normal. Ngunit agad na nilagyan ng dual authorization ang owner's villa, private marina, brand licensing files, at trust-owned conference assets. Ang anumang instruction mula sa corporate office na may kinalaman sa financing, media shoot o property representation ay kailangan ng aprubahan ni Mateo at ng Trust Council. What about Marco's access? Tanong niya. His ordinary guest access remains until the meeting. Sagot ni Serena. But revoke his authority to override owner restrictions. He can stay in the villa tonight. Tomorrow, that changes. Ipinadala ni Selena ang formal preservation notice sa Corporate Legal Department, CFO, at Board Audit Committee. Hindi nito ibinunyag ang lahat ng ebidensiya. Nakasaad lamang na may credible concern tungkol sa unauthorized representation of trust assets at lahat ng files. Messages at approvals ay kailangang mapanatili. Ilang minuto matapos maipadala ang notice, tumunog ang telepono ni Mateo. Si Marco ang tumatawag. Why can't Leah access the owner's media deck? Tanong nito sa speaker. A trust level control was activated. Sish. Sagot ni Mateo. By whom? The beneficiary's legal office. Sandaling katahimikan. Serena is involved. I am not authorized to discuss the beneficiary's actions. I am the CEO of the operating company. Yes. Sir, the restriction concerns trust-owned assets. Not ordinary operations. Tumaas ang boses ni Marco. Remove it. We have investors arriving at 8. I cannot override it. Then I will speak to Serena myself. Of course. Sir. Pagkatapos ng tawag, tumingin si Mateo kay Serena. He will call you. Let him. Ilang segundo lamang. Nag-vibrate ang personal phone niya. Hindi niya agad sinagot. Hinayaan niyang tumunog ng 2 beses bago pinindot ang accept. Nasaan ka, tanong ni Marco? Sa background ay maririnig ang mahinang music at boses ni Leah. At home. Kasinungalingan ni Serena. Kalmado ang tono. Why did your trust lawyer issue a restriction at Aurora Cove? May problema ba sa resort? Routine misunderstanding. I need you to tell Selena to remove the hold. What holds some access issue with investor materials? Why would investor materials require trust access? Natahimik siya. We are discussing an expansion opportunity. Nothing final. Then why is it urgent? Because investors are here tomorrow. Send me the full proposal. It is technical. I will explain when I return. Marco, if the resort is involved, send it now. Narinig niya ang bulong ni Leah. Tell her it is only branding approval. Sumagot si Marco. It is mainly a branding presentation. You do not need to worry. Then there should be no reason not to send it. Serena, please do not create a problem from a routine matter. I am only asking to see what uses my family's property. Napabuntong hininga siya. We will discuss this after the meeting. Just tell Selena to cooperate. Are you alone? Tanong ni Serena. Muling nagkaroon ng katahimikan. The strategy team is here. At midnight, we are preparing at Aurora Cove. Yes. In which villa? Hindi agad sumagot si Marco. The executive villa. Hindi niya itinama. Hindi niya sinabing owner's villa iyon. Enjoy the meeting. Sabi ni Serena. I will speak to Selena. Good. Thank you. Bago ibaba ang tawag, narinig niyang sinabi ni Leah. See, she always gives in. Hindi niya alam na narinig iyon ni Serena. Pagkatapos ng call, inilapag niya ang telepono sa ibabaw ng trust deed. Tomorrow, he will learn the difference between cooperation and silence. Bandang 1:00. Dumating ang forensic IT specialist ng trust at gumawa ng legal image ng local finance server. Villa access logs at resort communications. Natuklasan nila na ilang araw bago ang investor meeting. Nag-request si Leah ng permanent owner profile access para sa sarili niyang account. Ang justification incoming co-principal of Cruise Leisure Household. Tinanggihan iyon ng local system administrator. Ngunit pinilit ni Dante Roses na ipasa bilang temporary executive companion status. May request din upang baguhin ang pangalan ng owner's villa sa Cruz Presidential Villa sa bagong marketing materials. They are already rewriting the resort's identity, sabi ni Serena. Ipinakita pa ng IT specialist ang hidden folder na may concept photos ni Leah sa spa, marina at private beach. Kasama ang captions na "The New Woman Behind Aurora Cove." Ang photoshoot ay nakaschedule 2 araw pagkatapos ng investor commitment. Wala ni isang mention kay Serena o Doña Aurora. Sa isa pang folder ay nahanap nila ang side agreement sa pagitan ni Leah at Dante. Kapag naitatag ang bagong Cruise Aurora Hospitality Ventures, makatatanggap si Leah ng 5% executive option at board observer rights. Si Dante naman ay bibigyan ng transaction completion bonus at permanent CFO position sa bagong entity. May confidential clause na nagsasabing kung magkaroon ng governance crisis dahil sa beneficiary resistance o personal scandal ng CEO, maaaring magrekomenda ang investor committee ng leadership replacement. Ang possible interim leader ay si Leah. Marco thinks the deal will make the resort answer to him, sabi ni Selena. But once he signs beyond his authority, they can use the breach to remove him. Does he know? Tanong ni Mateo. The succession clause is in a separate investor schedule. He may not have seen it. Tumingin si Serena sa pirma ni Leah sa side agreement. He chose to deceive me. Whether Leah also deceives him does not make him innocent. Pagsapit ng 3:00, inihanda ni Selena ang immediate protective suspension of management authority over trust assets. Hindi nito winawakasan ng buong 10-year operating agreement sa isang gabi. Pansamantala nitong inaalis sa Cruise Holdings ang authority na kumatawan sa resort sa financing. Gamitin ang owner's villa bilang executive privilege. Magbigay ng brand rights o mag-access ng trust-controlled revenue data. Magkakaroon ng 30-day independent review bago magdesisyon kung tuluyang tatapusin ang management contract. Inihanda rin ang notice of misrepresentation para sa investors at board. You can issue this before the presentation, sabi ni Selena. Or you can wait until Marco makes the representation on record. If we interrupt before he speaks, he will say it was a misunderstanding corrected in time. And if you wait, the investors will hear exactly what he believes he owns. Mateo hesitated. That could damage the company. The truth will damage the false presentation. Sagot ni Serena. Not the legitimate operations. Bago mag-alas 5, pumunta siya sa lumang spa storage room kung saan itinago ang ilan sa mga personal na gamit ng ina. Sa isang cedar cabinet ay may ivory pantsuit na isinusuot ni Doña Aurora sa Unas International Resort Conference. Hindi na iyon kasya kay Serena at masyado ng luma para sa meeting. Ngunit sa bulsa ay may maliit na brass key at folded note. Never let the person managing your house convince you that you are only a guest. Napangiti siya sa unang pagkakataon mula nang makita si Marco sa pier. Hindi niya kukunin ang kapangyarihan upang sirain ang resort o ipahiya ang mga empleyadong walang kasalanan? Gagamitin niya iyon upang ibalik ang malinaw na hangganan sa pagitan ng pagtitiwala at pag-angkin. Pagsikat ng araw, bumalik si Serena sa owner's office. Naligo siya sa maliit na private suite at hinubad ang spa uniform. Isinuot niya ang tailored white trousers, silk blouse at light gold blazer na dinala ni Selena sa garment bag. Pinalitan niya ang rubber shoes ng nude heels at ibinaba ang buhok sa maayos na waves. Sa dibdib niya ay isinabit ang maliit na brooch ni Doña Aurora, ang parehong sun and wave emblem na nakaukit sa trust seal. Sa mesa ay nakahanay ang protective suspension, trust deed, land records, management agreement, expense audit at side agreement ni Leah at Dante. Tinupi niya ang Palisades uniform at inilagay sa isang kahon. Sa ibabaw nito ay ipinatong niya ang name tag na Rina. Alas 7:40 nang dumating ang mga investor sa glass conference hall na nakaharap sa dagat. Sa kabilang gusali, naghahanda si Marco ng presentation habang si Leah ay nakaupo sa tabi niya. Suot ang cream power suit na pinili para sa media photographs. Wala pa silang ideya kung bakit hindi gumagana ang ilang owner-level access. Iniisip pa rin nilang isang legal delay lamang iyon na kayang ayusin ni Marco sa isang tawag sa Asawa. Sa stone corridor patungo sa conference hall, naglakad si Serena sa pagitan nina Attorney Selena at Mateo. Hindi na siya yumuyuko, hindi na nakasuot ng mask, at hindi na nagdadala ng tray ng tuwalya. Sa likod nila ay sumusunod ang trust secretary at 2 independent auditors. Nang makarating sila sa saradong pinto, narinig niya sa loob ang boses ni Marco. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Aurora Cove, the crown jewel of Cruise Leisure Holdings. Hinawakan ni Serena ang brass key ng ina sa loob ng kanyang palad. Pagkatapos ay binuksan niya ang pinto. Bumukas ang pinto ng glass conference hall habang nasa gitna si Marco ng kanyang opening presentation. Sa malaking screen sa likod niya ay nakasulat, Aurora Cove, the crown jewel of Cruise Leisure Holdings. Huminto ang mga investor sa pagtingin sa slides at sabay-sabay na napalingon sa entrance. Una nilang nakita si Mateo, ang general manager na kilala nilang tahimik at maingat. Kasunod niya si Attorney Selena Fortes na may dalang makapal na leather folder at ang 2 independent auditor. Ngunit ang huling pumasok ang siyang nagpatahimik sa buong silid. Suot ni Serena ang light gold blazer, puting tailored trousers at ang sun and wave brooch ng ina. Wala na ang mask. Mababang bon at rubber shoes ng spa attendant. Nakalugay ng maayos ang buhok niya. At sa kamay ay hawak niya ang maliit na name tag na Rina. Hindi agad nakapagsalita si Marco. Si Leah naman ay napahawak sa gilid ng mesa, habang unti-unting nakikilala ang babaeng nagsilbi sa kanila ng tsaa at mainit na tuwalya noong nakaraang gabi. Serena sa wakas ay nasabi ni Marco, "What are you doing here?" Hindi siya sinagot agad. Naglakad siya patungo sa harap ng conference table. Inilapag ang name tag sa tabi ng projector remote at tumingin sa mga investor. "Good morning," sabi niya. "Some of you met me last night without knowing my full name." Mabilis na tumingin si Leah kay Marco. She was the spa attendant. Bulong nito. Narinig iyon ng lead investor. "Mrs. Cruz?" tanong niya. "Yes," sagot ni Serena. "I served Mr. Cruz and Ms. Navarro in the private spa suite. I delivered their towels to the owner's villa, and I listened while they discussed presenting this resort as an asset available to support your transaction." Tumayo si Marco. "This is a personal misunderstanding. Serena, let us speak outside." "No. You brought my property into this room. We will speak where the representation was made." Kinuha ni Leah ang microphone. For context, Mrs. Cruz has not participated in resort operations for years. The presentation concerns management rights held by Cruise Leisure Holdings. Then the presentation should say management right. Sagot ni Serena. "Instead, your asset-based slide includes the land, villas, spa, marina revenu, development rights and Aurora Cove brand as though Cruise Holdings owns them." Tumingin siya sa screen. "It does not." Tinawag niya si Selena, na agad naglagay ng certified land titles, trust, deed, at management agreement sa harap ng corporate secretary. Aurora Coastal Trust owns every parcel of land, the principal resort structures, owner's villa, spa complex, private marina, and intellectual property associated with Aurora Cove. Paliwanag ng abogado. Cruise Leisure and Lifestyle Holdings is a contracted operator under a 10-year management agreement. It has no authority to pledge, mortgage, transfer, license or represent trust assets for financing without written beneficiary consent. Management integration creates commercial authority. Sabi ni Marco, the operating agreement permits us to negotiate expansion. Negotiate. Yes. Sagot ni Selena. Commit trust assets. No. Binuksan niya ang agreements sa Section 11 at 23. Any asset support representation involving land, print, port-like marina rights, or future development requires direct written approval from the sole beneficial owner. Tumingin ang lead investor kay Marco. Who is the beneficial owner? Bago sumagot ang sinuman, kinuha ni Serena ang trust certificate at inilagay sa gitna ng mesa. I am Serena Aurora Villamor Cruz, sole beneficial owner of Aurora Cove Resort through the Aurora Coastal Trust. Naging tahimik muli ang silid. Ang ilan sa mga investor ay tumingin sa slide. Pagkatapos kay Marco, na ilang minuto lamang ang nakalipas, ay tinawag ang lugar na crown jewel ng sariling kumpanya. Why was this not disclosed in the asset summary, tanong ng isang foreign infrastructure partner? Mabilis na sumagot si Leah. The ownership structure is a technical family arrangement. Cruz Holdings has operated the property for years. Technical ulit ni Serena. The difference between operating a hotel and owning the land beneath it is not technical. Kinuha niya ang presentation printout at binuksan sa slide kung saan nakalista ang estimated value ng resort bilang bahagi ng consolidated asset base. Your valuation includes trust-owned property. Your credit support diagram includes marina income and villa development rights. Your speaker notes say the beneficiary has reviewed and supports the integration. Tumingin siya kay Marco. I had never seen this presentation until last night. Nothing had been finalized. Sagot niya. We intended to secure your formal approval after investor commitment. You intended to use investor commitment to pressure me into approving terms you deliberately withheld. Iniharap ni Selena ang blankong trust consent page na nakuha mula sa Navy folder. May pangalan ni Serena sa ibaba at yellow note na nagsasabing, obtain after investor commitment. No signature exists. Sabi niya, no verbal authorization exists. No trustee resolution exists. Tinanong ng Investor Council kung may anumang email o board minute na nagpapatunay ng family alignment na binanggit ni Marco sa speaker notes. There is none. Sagot ng trust lawyer. In fact, the beneficiary's legal office activated a protective hold last night after discovering the unauthorized representation. Napatingin ang lahat kay Marco. You told us the hold was a routine administrative issue. Sabi ng lead investor. Because I believed Serena would approve once the benefits were explained. You believe. Sagot ni Serena. You did not ask. Sinubukan ni Marco na lumapit sa kaniya. Mara, we can pause the meeting. Review the language and correct the deck? There is no need to damage the company. The company was damaged when its CEO presented property he did not own as financing support. I was trying to expand the resort. You were trying to make refusal impossible. The expansion creates jobs. Then it should survive transparent consent. You are making this about us. You made our marriage part of the transaction when you planned to portray me as emotionally unstable if I refused. Nawala ang kulay sa mukha ni Leah. That allegation is inappropriate. Tahimik na inilabas ni Serena ang draft communication strategy. Sa screen ay lumitaw ang headings tungkol sa reclusive beneficiary, marital transition, at emotional resistance to modernization. Your own document makes it appropriate. Sabi niya. Nagkaroon ng mabilis na bulungan sa investor side. Ang isang legal advisor ay humiling na itigil ang recording. Ngunit tumanggi ang independent auditor dahil bahagi na iyon ng formal strategy meeting. Tinawag ni Selena ang dating local controller na si Maribel Santos sa secure video feed. Kinumpirma nito na inutusan siya ni CFO Dante Roses na alisin ang executive villa charges sa exception report at huwag ipaalam sa trust ang expansion proposal. Ipinakita rin ang email. Do not involve the beneficiary until investor appetite is confirmed. Leah will manage the narrative. Did the CEO receive these communications? Tanong ng audit representative. He was copied on several expense approvals and the final asset support preparation. Sagot ni Maribel. I cannot confirm he read every message, but his office approved the presentation timeline. Tumayo si Leah. This is becoming an ambush, organized by someone who impersonated an employee and invaded private conversations. I entered my own resort under an internal audit arrangement authorized by the trust. Sagot ni Serena. The owner's office? General manager and trust counsel knew I was here. I did not enter a private home. I observed the use of trust assets and heard executives discussing a corporate transaction in a resort facility. You listened while we were vulnerable. You spoke openly because you believed the person serving you had no power. Tumingin si Serena sa kaniya. That belief is not privacy. It is arrogance. Hindi nakasagot si Leah. Naalala ng lahat ng naroon na siya mismo ang nag-utos sa attendant na huwag magsalita at manatili sa staff area kinabukasan. Inilabas ni Selena ang immediate protective suspension of management authority over trust assets. Isa-isang binasa ang mga limitasyon. Mula sa sandaling iyon, suspendido ang authority ng Cruise Holdings na kumatawan sa Aurora Cove sa financing, brand licensing, marina agreements, owner's villa use at development commitments. Mananatili ang ordinary hotel operations upang walang guest o employee ang maapektuhan. Magkakaroon ng 30-day independent review bago magpasya ang trust kung ipagpapatuloy. Babaguhin o tuluyang tatapusin ang management agreement? This is not a closure, sabi ni Serena sa staff representatives na naroon. Salaries, reservations, and guest services continue. The suspension applies to unauthorized executive powers, not to the employees who keep this resort alive. Serena, you cannot issue that in the middle of an investor meeting, sabi ni Marco. It is effective upon notice of material breach. Sagot ni Selena. The notice was served to the company's legal department at 7:52 this morning and is now formally delivered to the CEO. Inilagay niya ang signed copy sa harap ni Marco. Sa parehong sandali, tumunog ang tablet nito. Lumitaw ang notifications. Owner level override revoked. Brand licensing access suspended. Marina authorization requires trust approval. Hindi niya maitatago sa mga investor na aktibo na ang order. You planned this overnight. Sabi niya kay Serena. You planned to use my resort before asking me. Our resort. Sagot niya. We built the business around it together. No. My mother built the resort. The trust hired your company to operate it. You helped grow its reach. And you were paid and praised for that work? Contribution did not turn management into ownership. Lumapit si Mateo sa screen at ipinakita ang owner's villa access logs. 11 beses ginamit ni na Marco at Leah ang villa nang walang beneficiary approval. Ipinakita rin ang milyon-milyong pisong gastos na inilagay sa marketing at client entertainment accounts. These charges were approved as executive hospitality, sabi ni Marco. For which clients? Tanong ng auditor. Walang client name sa records. Ang custom jewelry, private romantic photographer at couple spot treatments ay walang kaugnayan sa anumang investor. Tumingin ang lead partner kay Leah. Were our funds expected to reimburse any of this cost? No. Mabilis niyang sagot. Then why are they part of the operational account supporting your projections? Hindi niya naipaliwanag. Kinuha ni Serena ang name tag na Rina mula sa mesa. Last night, Miss As, Navarro told me the resort was about to have new owners. Sabi niya. She said people who understood what to do with a property like this were taking control. Tumingin siya sa lahat ng investor bago itinuloy. So, allow me to introduce myself properly. I am Serena Aurora Villamor Cruz, sole beneficial owner of Aurora Cove Resort, holder of the trust approval you were told was administrative, and the person with authority to suspend the operator that misrepresented this property. Inilagay niya ang name tag sa ibabaw ng unsigned consent page. The approval does not exist. The asset support does not exist. And this transaction, in its current form, does not proceed. Agad na humiling ang investors ng private caucus. Ngunit bago sila umalis, ay hiniling nilang ilagay sa record kung sino ang naghanda ng asset narrative. Itinuro ni Marco ang strategy team. Itinuro ni Leah ang CFO at CEO approval process. Pareho nilang sinubukang hatiin ang pananagutan. Ngunit nasa audit package ang version history, si Leah ang nag-edit ng beneficiary language. Si Dante ang nag-utos na wag isama ang trust at si Marco ang nag-approve ng final deck. This was a team decision. Sabi ng audit representative. That does not make it less misleading. It makes the governance problem wider. Nang lumabas ang investor sa private room, lumapit si Marco kay Serena. Wala na sa paligid ang media smile at CEO confidence. You were really the attendant? Tanong niya. Tila hindi pa rin makapaniwala. Yes. You massaged Leah's hands. You served us tea. I watched both of you use my mother's resort as a stage for an affair and an unauthorized deal. Why did you not confront me immediately? Because I needed to know whether you were simply unfaithful or whether you were willing to take what was never yours. And what did you decide? You answered that when you called ownership a technical detail. Tumingin siya sa name tag. Pagkatapos sa trust deed, you should have told me the trust gave you this much authority. You signed the management agreement. I did not memorize every clause. You remember the clauses that gave you power. I thought we were partners. Partners ask. They do not prepare a signature page and plan the pressure before showing the terms. Leah pushed the communication strategy, but you planned the marital separation after the financing. Hindi niya itinanggi iyon. Our marriage has been failing. Then you should have ended it before bringing her into the owner's villa. I was going to explain. After the investors committed, after my name disappeared from the asset story, and after refusing would make me the villain, bumalik ang investors makalipas ang 20 minuto. Ipinahayag nilang hindi nila ipagpapatuloy ang proposed commitment hanggat walang independent legal review. Corrected asset ownership disclosures at resolution ng conflicts involving the CEO, strategy director and CFO. Ang presentation ay opisyal na withdrawn. Walang term sheet na pipirmahan. Walang press announcement. Si Leah ay inutusan ng board representative na isuko muna ang investor files. At si Dante ay inilagay sa administrative suspension sa pamamagitan ng video conference. Samantala, ang board ng Cruise Holdings ay tumawag ng emergency governance meeting para sa hapon. Nakatayo si Marco sa harap ng screen na ngayon ay blanco. Ang mga salitang crown jewel ay nawala kasama ng presentation. Tumingin siya kay Serena na hawak ang brooch ng ina at ang legal papers na nagbago sa buong umaga. So what happens now? Tanong niya. You and Leah leave the owner's villa before noon. Sagot niya. The private marina access is suspended. All records remain under preservation. Ordinary resort operations continue under Mateo and the trust oversight team. You are throwing me out of the resort I built. You helped operate and promote it. You did not build the land. The trust or the authority you tried to spend? Is this revenge? Tanong niya. Hindi sumagot si Serena agad. Pinagmasdan niya ang conference hall. Ang bay sa labas at ang mga empleyadong naghintay sa tamang direksyon matapos ang maraming taon ng executive entitlement. Pagkatapos ay itinuro niya ang palisade name tag sa ibabaw ng unsigned approval. No, sabi niya. This is ownership correcting a false presentation. Napatingin si Marco sa kanya ng matagal. You were the spa attendant. Yes, sagot ni Serena. And I was also the owner while you were pretending to be one. Hindi pa nakakaalis ang huling investor sa glass conference hall nang dumating ang emergency notice mula sa board ng Cruise Leisure Lifestyle Holdings. Ipinatawag ang lahat ng senior executive sa temporary governance room ng resort pagsapit ng 2:00 ng hapon. Hanggat hindi natatapos ang unang review. Hindi maaaring umalis sa isla sina Marco, Lia o CFO Dante Roses nang walang pahintulot ng independent directors. Ang private seaplane ay inilagay sa operational hold dahil company asset iyon. At ang executive files sa owner's villa ay isinailalim sa preservation order. Hindi ipinasara ni Serena ang resort. Patuloy ang check-in, spa treatments, island tours at staff operations na para bang walang malaking transaksiyong bumagsak sa conference wing. Ngunit sa likod ng mga glass door, unti-unting nawawala ang lahat ng pribilehiyong matagal nang inakalang natural na karapatan ni Marco. You cannot detain executives at a property, sabi niya kay Attorney Selena. No one is detaining you. Sagot nito. You may leave through your own transportation after surrendering all company devices and confirming preservation compliance. The board is only preventing removal of records. Bumalik si Marco sa owner's villa upang magpalit ng damit at mag-impake. Sa loob, nakita niyang tinatanggal na ng staff ang personalized flowers, champagne service at frame photographs na inihanda para sa photoshoot ni Lia. Nakatayo ang mistress sa terrace. Mabilis na nagtatype sa telepono. Who are you contacting? Tanong niya. Investor Relations. The board ordered a communications freeze. I am protecting our position. Our position. Lumapit siya at inilapag sa mesa ang kopya ng protective suspension. You told me Serena would sign after commitment. You told me the trust was only a legal shell. It should have been... You were the one who failed to control your wife. Do not speak about her as though this is only a domestic problem. It became a governance problem because she disguised herself as staff and staged an ambush. She did not ride the false asset slide. We did. Napalingon si Lia. Do not suddenly become moral because you were embarrassed. I was misled. By whom you approved the deck. Nagbukas ang villa door at pumasok ang Trust Security Officer kasama ang IT Preservation Specialist. Ipinaliwanag nilang kukunin ang corporate laptop, investor tablet at documents na ginamit sa presentation. Tumanggi si Lia na ibigay ang personal phone. It contains private information. We require only company-managed applications and preserved business data. Sabi specialist. The forensic image will be limited under counsel supervision. Koldante. Utos niya kay Marco. He can stop this. Don't is under administrative suspension. Napatigil siya. Since when 10 minutes ago. Mabilis na binuksan ni Lia ang laptop. Ngunit lumitaw na disabled na ang corporate access niya. Hindi na niya maitago ang takot. Marco, we need to leave before they turn everything into evidence against us. What exactly are you afraid they will find? Tanong niya. Hindi sumagot si Lia. Sa unang pagkakataon, mula nang magsimula ang kanilang relasyon. Hindi na siya nakikita ni Marco bilang sophisticated partner na laging may solusyon. Nakikita niya itong parang executive na may sariling krisis na hindi niya ibinahagi. Samantala, sa lumang owner's office, Ipinakita ng forensic team kay Serena ang na-recover na folder mula sa local server. Nasa loob ang side agreement ni Nila, Dante at isang investment vehicle na tinatawag na Meridian Hospitality Partners. Kapag natuloy ang Aurora Cove integration, lilipat sa bagong entity ang brand management rights, marina revenue at expansion development contracts. Si Leah ay makatatanggap ng 5% executive options at board observer seat. Si Dante ay may transaction completion bonus at guaranteed CFO appointment. Ngunit ang pinakamahalagang dokumento ay ang leadership continuity schedule. Nakasaad na sa loob ng 90 araw matapos ang investor commitment. Magsasagawa ang bagong board ng governance review kay Marco. Ang grounds ay unauthorized representation of trust property, undisclosed intimate relationship with a transaction executive at misuse of resort operational funds. Kapag nakumpirma ang alinman, maaaring alisin siya bilang CEO at italaga si Leah bilang interim chief executive. They designed the violations, then planned to use them against him. Sabi ni Mateo. Some of the violations were still his choices. Sagot ni Serena. But yes, they prepared the trap. Inilabas ni Selena ang email ni Leah kay Dante. Once Marco commits the asset narrative publicly, the board has leverage. Serena's resistance will create the crisis we need. Sa kasunod na mensahe, sumagot si Dante. Keep him confident until term sheet execution. He thinks the investor committee guarantees his chair. Does Marco know about this, tanong ni Serena. The succession schedule was stored outside the CEO transaction folder. Sabi, NG forensic specialist. His account never opened it. Then Leah used his arrogance. But she did not invent it. Will you warn him before the board meeting? Tanong ni Mateo. We will disclose it to everyone at the same time. No private deals. 2:00 nang magsimula ang emergency governance session sa conference pavilion. Naroon sa video link ang independent board chair, 2 audit directors at outside counsel mula Manila. Sa resort mismo ay naroon sina Serena, Selena, Mateo, Marco, Leah at Dante, na dumating mula sa regional office sakay ng regular commercial flight at dinala diretso sa meeting. Namumula ang mukha ng CFO at pilit niyang ipinapakita na routine review lamang ang nangyayari. The investor presentation was preliminary. Sabi niya, no binding pledge occurred. The absence of a completed fraud does not erase the attempted misrepresentation. Sagot ng audit chair. Did you instruct local finance not to report executive villa expenses to the trust? I classified them under CEO hospitality. Did the CEO entertain named clients? Not always. Were the jewelry, couples treatments and romantic photoshoot legitimate hospitality expenses? Hindi siya sumagot. Ipinakita sa screen ang email chain kay Maribel Santos. Do not involve the beneficiary until investor appetite is confirmed. Leah will manage the narrative. Tinanong si Dante kung ano ang ibig sabihin ng manage the narrative. Communication strategy? Including depicting Serena as emotionally unstable if she refused. That language came from Ms. Navarro's team. Mabilis na nagsalita si Leah. The CFO approved the campaign assumptions. You drafted them. Sagot ni Dante. Because you said the board needed a reputational contingency. You both prepared to attack the property owner if she exercised a contractual right. Sabi ni independent director, that is not contingency planning. That is coercive communications. Isinunod ni Selena ang leadership continuity schedule. Lumitaw sa screen ang pangalan ni Leah bilang interim CEO candidate. Nakasulat sa ilalim ng pangalan ni Marco, subject to removal following governance review after integration. Napalingon si Marco kay Leah. What is this? Tanong niya. A standard succession document. You told me my chair was protected for 5 years. That was the commercial intention. The document says 90 days. Only if there was a material crisis. The crisis you plan to create through Serena's resistance? Hindi na siya sumagot. Ipinakita ni Selena ang email, Serena's resistance will create the crisis we need. Mabilis na tumayo si Marco. You used the trust conflict to prepare my removal. Sit down. Utos ng board chair. No. I want an answer. Tumingin si Leah sa kaniya ng diretso. I protected myself because you never truly controlled the asset. Parang nabura sa mukha ni Marco ang lahat ng natitirang pag-asa na magkakampi pa sila. You said once Serena signed, we would run the new company together. You kept delaying the separation. You kept treating me as the woman who waited in private villas while your wife remained the legal beneficiary. So you planned to take my position. You promised me power you did not possess. And you slept beside me while building a file against me. You were building a file against your wife. Natahimik ang silid. Sa isang pangungusap, parehong lumitaw ang katotohanan ng dalawang pagtataksil. Ginamit ni Marco ang relasyon kay Leah upang palitan si Serena sa personal at corporate narrative. Ginamit naman ni Leah ang ambisyon ni Marco upang ma-access ang asset, likhain ang governance breach, at alisin siya kapag wala ng silbi. Kinuha ng board chair ang microphone. Mr. Cruz, did you approve the asset presentation? Yes. Did you know the trust had not issued consent? Yes. But I expected Serena to approve later. Did you approve the marital transition communication strategy? I saw a summary. Did you authorize the owner's villa charges? I believed executive privileges covered them. Did you disclose your relationship with Miss Navarro to the board while she prepared a transaction affecting your wife's trust? Matagal bago siya sumagot. No. Then regardless of Miss Navarro's separate plan, you created multiple governance conflicts yourself. Napaupo si Marco. Hindi na siya maaaring magkunwaring biktima lamang. Ang lihim na kasunduan laban sa kaniya ay hindi nagbura sa sarili niyang mga lagda. Sumunod na tinanong si Leah tungkol sa 5% option package. It was compensation for building the new luxury platform. Sabi niya, was it disclosed to the full board? It was subject to closing. Was it disclosed to Mr. Cruz? The general framework was not the amount or succession right. Sabi ni Marco. You told me you would only have a communication seat because you became threatened whenever a woman had independent authority. Napatingin si Serena sa kaniya. Sa kabila ng pagiging manipuladora ni Leah, may bahaging totoo sa sinabi nito. Ngunit ginamit nito ang katotohanang iyon hindi upang baguhin ang sistema, kundi upang agawin ang parehong kapangyarihang inaakusahan niya sa iba. You did not fight entitlement. Sabi ni Serena, you simply wanted to inherit it. Iniharap din ang request ni Leah na palitan ang pangalan ng owner's villa bilang Cruz Presidential Villa at ang photoshoot folder na may caption na The New Woman Behind Aurora Cove. You were preparing a public identity around a property you did not own. Sabi ng board chair. The brand needed a modern face? Sagot niya. And you decided that face should be yours. Serena refused public leadership. Refusing publicity is not surrendering legal identity. Tumingin si Serena sa babae. You thought my silence left an empty role. It did not. It only gave you room to misrepresent me. Pagkatapos ng 3 oras na questioning, nag-recess ang board. Sa hallway, nilapitan ni Marco si Serena. You knew she planned to remove me since early this morning. Why did you not tell me privately? Because you and Leah built this entire structure through private conversations. We could still stop Dante and her together. The transaction is already stopped. I mean, save Cruz Holdings. keep me as CEO while I cooperate. You are asking for my help because your mistress betrayed you, not because you suddenly understand what you did to me. I understand now. You understand the cost now. Is there a difference, a large one? Lumapit siya ng kaunti ngunit hindi siya hinawakan. We built the resort business together. We built the management relationship around my family's asset. You know, I helped make Aurora Cove internationally known. I have never denied your contribution. Then do not let one mistake erase everything. It was not one mistake. It was an affair in the owner's villa. 11 unauthorized visits. Hidden expenses. A false asset presentation. A pressure strategy and a planned public attack against me. Leah designed most of that. And you approve what benefited you. What do you want from me? Truthful cooperation. No deletion of records. No pressure on staff. And no expectation that protecting the company means restoring your authority. Bumalik ang board at binasa ang interim resolutions. Si Dante ay suspended bilang CFO at inalis sa access sa treasury, financing at property accounts. Si Leah ay terminated mula sa strategic communications at investor relations functions. At ang options at side agreements niya ay declared unauthorized pending legal review. Ipinagbawal sa kaniya ang paggamit ng Aurora Cove brand, owner's villa, marina at media facilities. Si Marco ay suspended bilang CEO ng Cruise Leisure Lifestyle Holdings habang nagpapatuloy ang full forensic audit. Ang Independent Chief Operating Officer ang pansamantalang mamumuno sa kumpanya. Lahat ng hospitality properties na pinapatakbo ng Cruise Holdings ay sasailalim sa asset ownership verification upang malaman kung may iba pang maling representasyon. Para sa Aurora Cove, bumuo ang trust ng Independent Oversight Committee na pinamumunuan ni Mateo, kasama ang isang hospitality expert, employee representative at environmental trustee. Hindi tatanggapin ni Serena ang daily operating role habang nagpapatuloy ang investigation. As owner, you may appoint yourself managing chair. Sabi ng board representative, no. Sagot niya, the resort needs competent independent operation. Not another person confusing personal pain with executive authority. You are refusing the position after removing us, tanong ni Leah. I removed unauthorized authority. Sagot niya, I did not stage this investigation to inherit your title. Pinayagan sina Marco at Leah na kunin ang personal nilang gamit sa owner's villa sa ilalim ng security supervision. Magkahiwalay silang umalis. Hindi na sila sumakay sa iisang sasakyan. Sa private dock. Sinubukan ni Leah na tawagan ng investor representative ngunit hindi sinagot. Ang access sa corporate mail niya ay tuluyang isinara. Samantala, nanatili si Marco sa gilid ng stone path. Nakatingin sa villa at sa infinity pool na ilang oras lamang ang nakalipas ay tinawag nilang future home. All of this changed in one day. Sabi niya nang lumapit si Serena. No. Sagot niya. The truth became visible in one day. The choices were made over many months. Are you happy now? Tanong niya. You exposed Leah. Took the resort back and removed me as CEO. You are not removed permanently yet. You are suspended pending evidence. Do not hide behind process. You know where this ends. I know where our marriage ends. Napapikit siya. Serena, you brought another woman into my mother's villa and told her my ownership would become a technical detail. Whatever the board decides, that part is already clear. I was wrong. Yes. Can I fix anything? You can tell the truth without bargaining for a reward. Tumingin siya sabay. Kung saan dahan-dahang papalayo ang service boat. Was the spa this guy's revenge? No. It was an audit. You wanted to catch me. I wanted to know whether the reports were true. I hoped they were exaggerated. And when you saw us, I learned the affair was only one part of the betrayal. Natahimik si Marco. I thought if I controlled the business, I could control what happened afterward. That is your deepest mistake. You believed managing people? Assets and stories gave you ownership over every consequence. Mula sa Villa Terrace. Dumaan ang staff upang alisin ang temporary cruise presidential villa signage na inihanda para sa photoshoot. Ibinalik nila ang original brass plaque, Aurora House Private Residence of the Coastal Trust. Pinanood iyon ni Marco na parang unti-unting binubura ang isang buhay na inakala niyang malapit nang mapasa kanya. Is this your revenge? Muli niyang tanong. Tumingin si Serena sa plaque. Pagkatapos sa name tag na Rina, nahawak pa rin niya sa bulsa ng blazer. No, sagot niya. I am reclaiming what you mistook for your entitlement. Pagkatapos ay iniwan niya si Marco sa stone path at bumalik sa owner's office, kung saan naghihintay ang mga empleyado, auditor at dokumentong magpapasya kung mananatili pa ang Cruise Holdings bilang operator ng Aurora Cove. Lumipas ang 9 na buwan bago natapos ang full forensic review ng Aurora Cove Resort at Cruise Leisure Lifestyle Holdings. Sa panahong iyon, nanatiling bukas ang resort sa ilalim ng Independent Oversight Committee. Hindi na maaaring gamitin ng sinumang executive ang owner's villa nang walang written trust approval. Ang marina, spa, development files, at brand licensing ay inilagay sa hiwalay na control system na pinamumunuan ni Mateo de la Rosa, isang environmental trustee, isang employee representative at 2 independent hospitality experts. Sa unang buwan pa lamang, nakita ng auditors na mas malaki ang problema kaysa sa mga romantic dinners at spa bills. Ilang corporate presentation ang gumamit sa Aurora Cove bilang bahagi ng asset value ng Cruise Holdings kahit malinaw sa legal records na operator lamang ang kumpanya. May mga vendor contract na pinirmahan sa pangalang owner representative ng walang kapangyarihan. May mga advance booking revenues na pansamantalang inilipat sa corporate cash pool upang suportahan ang ibang struggling properties. Wala sa mga iyon ang tuluyang nagdulot ng pagkawala sa resort. Ngunit ipinakita ng pattern na matagal nang tinatrato ni Marco at ng kaniyang finance team ang trust asset na parang sariling emergency fund ng kumpanya. Sa final report, kinumpirma ng investigators na si Dante Roses ang nag-utos na huwag ipadala sa trust ang expense exception reports. Ang nag-aproba sa paggamit ng owner's villa bilang CEO privilege at ang nagdisenyo ng financial structure na magbibigay sa bagong investment vehicle ng kontrol sa marina revenue at expansion rights. Natuklasan din na tumanggap siya ng advance advisory payments mula sa Meridian Hospitality Partners sa pamamagitan ng consulting company ng kaniyang kapatid. Hindi niya kailanman idineklara ang conflict. Matapos ang board hearings, permanenteng tinanggal si Dante bilang CFO. Ang kaniyang transaction bonus at deferred compensation ay kinansela. At ang records tungkol sa undisclosed payments ay ipinasa sa regulators. Hindi na siya nakabalik sa resort. Sa huling pagkakataong humarap siya sa board, sinabi niyang ginawa lamang niya ang kailangan upang iligtas ang expansion plan. You were not saving the plan. Sagot ng audit chair. You were arranging to profit from information the owner was deliberately denied. Mas mabilis ang naging pagbagsak ni Leah. Ang communications files niya ang nagpatunay na planado ang pag-alis kay Serena sa public narrative. May prepared interviews, manipulated founder history, draft stories tungkol sa unstable beneficiary at campaign materials na nagpapakilala kay Leah bilang bagong mukha ng Aurora Cove. Sa isang hidden message thread, sinabi niya kay Dante na kapag pumalag si Serena, gagamitin nila ang marital scandal upang iharap si Marco bilang compromised CEO. Kapag naman pumayag si Serena, kukunin nila ang asset rights at saka ipatutupad ang leadership review laban kay Marco. Sa alinmang resulta, si Leah ang lalabas na interim leader. Sa legal settlement, kinansela ang lahat ng options niya at inatasan siyang ibalik ang ilang executive benefits na hindi na-authorize. Ipinagbawal din sa kanyang gamitin ang Aurora Cove images, name o private facilities para sa personal branding. Hindi siya nakulong sa isang dramatic na paraan. Ngunit nawala ang lahat ng corporate identity na pinilit niyang itayo sa ari-arian ng ibang tao. Sa media, sinubukan ni Leah na ilarawan ang sarili bilang scapegoat ng isang makapangyarihang Harris. Nagbigay siya ng isang interview kung saan sinabi niyang gumamit si Serena ng disguise upang manghuli ng pribadong usapan at sirain ang career ng isang self-made woman. Hindi sumagot agad si Serena. Sa halip, inilabas ng trust ang redacted audit summary, ownership records at presentation history. Wala roong personal na insulto. Puro dates, signature, contracts, at exact language lamang. Makalipas ang ilang araw, nawala ang sympathy campaign. Ang pinakamatinding ebidensiya ay hindi ang affair, kundi ang sariling mensahe ni Leah. The woman serving us has no idea she is about to lose the resort. Nang itanong ng isang reporter kung pinagsisisihan niyang sinabi iyon, sumagot si Leah na kinuha raw iyon sa maling context. Ngunit walang context na kayang gawing lehitimo ang planong kunin ang property ng taong pinagtatawanan mo habang siya mismo ang nagsisilbi sa iyong harap. Para kay Marco, mas komplikado ang naging desisyon. Hindi na patunayang tumanggap siya ng lihim na bayad tulad ni Dante. At wala ring ebidensiyang alam niya ang buong succession plan ni Leah. Ngunit malinaw na inaprobahan niya ang false asset presentation. Hinayaan niyang ilarawan ang trust approval bilang formality at sadyang itinago kay Serena ang investment terms upang ma-pressure itong pumirma pagkatapos ng public commitment. Inamin din niyang alam niya ang press strategy na gagamitin laban sa asawa sakaling tumanggi ito. Kahit sinasabi niyang hindi niya nabasa ang pinakamasasakit na linya, sa final board vote, permanente siyang tinanggal bilang CEO dahil sa conflict of interest, misrepresentation, at failure of fiduciary oversight. Pinayagan siyang panatilihin ang ilang vested shares sa cruise holdings. Ngunit, kinansela ang chairmanship package, expansion bonus at management rights na nakatali sa Aurora Cove. Hindi agad bumagsak ang buong kumpanya. Iyon ang unang bagay na pinrotektahan ni Serena. Sa halip na gamitin ang crisis upang durugin ang cruise holdings, sinuportahan niya ang appointment ng independent CEO na walang koneksiyon sa pamilya Villamor o Cruz. Ang mga profitable city hotels ay nagpatuloy. Ang mga empleyado ay hindi nawalan ng sahod. Ang mga legitimate supplier contract ay pinarangalan. Ngunit ang Aurora Cove Management Agreement ay hindi na ipinagpatuloy sa dating anyo. Matapos ang review, ginamit ng trust ang material breach clause upang tapusin ang operator relationship sa loob ng maayos na transition period. 6 na buwan ang ibinigay upang mailipat ang systems, training files at vendor controls sa bagong independent operating company. Hindi pinayagang burahin ng sinuman ang historical contribution ng cruise holdings. Ngunit malinaw na, mula noon, hindi na nito maaaring tawagin ang resort na bahagi ng sariling asset base. Tumanggi si Serena na maging day-to-day CEO ng Aurora Cove. Ownership is not proof of operating competence, sabi niya sa trust board. Sa halip, pinili nilang panatilihin si Mateo bilang managing director at kumuha ng chief hospitality officer na may mahabang karanasan sa sustainable island resorts. Bumuo rin sila ng employee council na maaaring direktang mag-report sa trust tungkol sa executive abuse, hidden charges, o policy overrides. Ang owner's villa ay hindi na ginagamit bilang personal reward ng management. Ginawa itong private residence para sa trust family visits at occasional retreat venue para sa environmental and community partners. Ang Eastern Spa Wing, na isinara ni Marco para sa pribadong couples treatment, ay muling binuksan sa guests at local wellness practitioners. Sa isang espesyal na ceremony, ibinalik ang buong pangalan ng resort sa front entrance, Aurora Cove Resort founded by Doña Aurora Villamor. Sa tabi ng founder wall ay inilagay ang larawan ng mga unang staff member. Boatmen, gardeners, masahista at construction workers na tumulong sa pagtatayo ng lugar. Hindi tinanggal ang pangalan ni Marco mula sa history. Nasa timeline pa rin ang kanyang kontribusyon sa international marketing, digital reservations at expansion ng luxury network. Ngunit inalis ang label na founder at owner. Pinalitan iyon ng former operating partner and CEO of Cruise Leisure Holdings. We do not need to rewrite the past to punish him, sabi ni Serena. We only need to stop the lie from replacing it. Ang relasyon nila ni Marco ay hindi naisalba. Sa mga unang buwan matapos ang suspension, patuloy siyang humingi ng private meeting. Minsan ay nagpadala siya ng mahabang liham na nagsasabing tunay ang pagmamahal niya kay Serena at naligaw lamang siya dahil sa pressure ng expansion, board expectations at sariling takot na mawalan ng relevance. Sumagot si Serena ng maikli, pressure did not create the choices. It revealed them. Sa mediation, hindi niya ginamit ang resort upang kunin ang lahat ng marital assets. Hiwalay ang Aurora Coastal Trust at malinaw iyon sa kanilang prenuptial agreement. Ang pinaghati lamang nila ay ang bahay, personal investments at mga asset na tunay nilang binuo bilang mag-asawa. Ayaw ni Serena ng revenge settlement. Gusto niya ng malinis na wakas na hindi na maaaring gamitin ni Marco upang sabihing pera lamang ang dahilan ng kanilang paghihiwalay. Sa huling personal meeting nila, nagkita sila sa isang maliit na cafe sa Manila, malayo sa resort at corporate offices. Wala ng bodyguard, assistant o media team. Si Marco. Mas payat siya at mas tahimik. I did love you, sabi niya. I know, sagot ni Serena. But you also loved what my silence allowed you to become. I thought I was building something for both of us. Then why did you need to hide the papers from me? Because I knew you might say no. That is the answer. Marco, you did not want a partner. You wanted permission that could be forced after the decision. Napayuko siya. Leah made me believe I was wasting my potential by waiting for you. No. Leah used the belief you already had that my consent mattered less than your ambition. Humingi si Marco ng isa pang pagkakataon. Hindi bilang CEO, kundi bilang asawa. Sinabi niyang handa siyang mag-therapy. Tumigil sa public life at magsimula muli sa maliit. Hindi siya pinahiya ni Serena. Hindi rin siya nagbigay ng maling pag-asa. I believe people can change, sabi niya. But change does not create an obligation for the person you hurt to return. So this is final, yes? Because of the affair. Because when you believed I had no power, you showed me how little respect you had for my right to choose. Nilagdaan nila ang final separation documents pagkalipas ng 2 linggo. Sa labas ng opisina ng mediator, nagpaalam sila ng walang galit. Ngunit wala na ring pangakong babalikan. 1 taon matapos ang gabing nagsilbi siyang spa attendant, nagdaos ang Aurora Cove ng relaunch event para sa bagong stewardship charter. Hindi yan marangyang display ng family wealth. Inimbitahan ng employees, local fisherfolk representatives, environmental groups, travel partners at investors na sumang-ayon sa updated ownership disclosures. Ang investor presentation ay nagsimula sa isang simpleng slide, the resort, the trust and the people responsible for its future. Walang malabong asset language. Malinaw ang bawat boundary, sino ang may-ari, sino ang operator, sino ang may authority, at sino ang may pananagutan. Bago ang program, dumaan si Serena sa Eastern Spa Wing. Nandoon pa rin ang parehong private suite kung saan niya narinig sina Marco at Leah na pinag-uusapan ang pagkawala niya sa asset narrative. Ang Jasmine diffuse ay pinalitan, NG na TV lang. Ang silver tray ay ginagamit pa rin para sa tea service. Sa reception desk, may bagong policy card. Every employee may report misuse of owner facilities without fear of retaliation. Nakita niya ang lumang Palisade uniform na inilagay sa maliit na archive frame sa owner's office. Kasama ang name tag na Rina. Hindi iyon ipinakita sa guest bilang theatrical souvenir. Nakatago iyon bilang personal reminder na ang kapangyarihan ay hindi laging makikita sa suot, posisyon, o paraan ng pagsasalita. Sa relaunch ceremony, unang tinawag si Mateo sa stage. Sumunod ang employee representative at bagong operating team. Huli lamang ipinakilala si Serena. Pumasok siya suot ang simpleng ivory dress at ang sun and wave brooch ng ina. Hindi siya naglakad na parang celebrity o conqueror. Tumayo siya sa harap ng mga taong tunay na nagpapatakbo ng resort at sinabi, "For years, I believed protecting this place meant staying out of sight. I was wrong. An owner who remains silent while others misuse the property is not preserving peace. She is leaving employees to face power without protection." Pagkatapos ng ceremony, tinanong siya ng isang reporter kung bakit hindi niya simpleng tinawagan ng asawa at ipinakilalang siya ang may-ari. "Because I had already heard his explanations for years?" Sagot niya. "I needed to observe his decisions when he believed I was absent. Was pretending to be a spa attendant deceptive? It was an authorized internal inspection of my own property. And what did you learn?" Tumingin siya sa spa wing, sa owner's villa, at sa conference hall kung saan bumagsak ang maling presentation. People reveal the truth fastest when they believe the woman serving them has no power. "Do you feel powerful now?" tanong ng reporter. Umiling si Serena. "I do not need to feel more powerful than anyone." Sabi niya, "I only need every person here to understand that service is not inferiority. Silence is not surrender. And management is not ownership." Sa paglubog ng araw, naglakad siya sa stone path patungo sa private marina. Dati, ang bawat bahagi ng lugar ay nagpapaalala sa kaniya ng betrayal. Ngayon, nakikita niya muli ang ginawa ng kanyang ina, isang resort na itinayo hindi upang maging korona ng isang CEO kundi upang mapangalagaan ang dagat, ang komunidad, at ang mga taong nagtatrabaho roon. Sa likod niya, ibinaba ng staff ang lumang marketing banner na minsang nagsabing Crown Jewel of Cruise Leisure Holdings. Sa halip, itinaas nila ang bagong pangalan ng resort at ang emblem ni Doña Aurora. Hindi na kailangang magpanggap ni Serena bilang empleyada. Hindi rin niya kailangang magpanggap bilang tahimik na asawang walang alam. Sa wakas, lumakad siya sa sariling resort bilang kung sino talaga siya, hindi isang babaeng kailangang ipakita ang kapangyarihan sa pamamagitan ng paghihiganti, kundi isang may-aring natutong ang pinakamahalagang bahagi ng pagmamana ay ang tapang na protektahan ang ipinagkatiwala sa iyo.